Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm joined with my boyfriend Lewis and we are going to talk about our top 15 tips and tricks on how to save money. Would you like to say hello?
Hello everyone. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell.
And also don't forget to follow me on my social media account as well, where I post daily my tips, tricks and life updates as well.
Yeah. So these are just like our top saving hacks, tips, tricks, whatever you want to call them, I guess, that we've just kind of, I don't know, figured out along the way that we both do. Yeah.
And how it's allowed us to save our money and not spend it on
just random crap.
Yeah, on
and like save
items
towards certain things and holidays and whatnot. So
yeah, exactly right. So my first tip and trick is to put 24 hours between you and your purchases. Now I'm not talking about necessities or essential items like groceries and bills and things like that. I'm talking about those items that aren't essential to your life. So shoes, clothes, anything that is sort of a material item. Put 24 hours between you and your purchase, because you may end up deciding that you don't actually need that item. And if you put time in between yourself and your purchases, you might even completely forget about it. And therefore you're saving money because you're not going online shopping all the time. If you do put time in between yourself and your purchase, usually the company will actually send you a discount code or a percentage off code that will entice you to purchase that item, which will again save you money as well along the way.
Yeah. And I fall victim to that a lot. So if I do like online clothes shopping, because they get you with the sales.
Yeah,
so
they
you just
do.
like add it, you're like, oh, it's like 50% off, 20% off.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, I'll just chuck it on the cart. And then when you get the clothes or shoes or whatever it is, you're like, why did I get that?
Yeah,
like it like looks, like a lot of the time when I do it, it like looks crap. So it's just a waste of money. So yeah, I've started doing that.
Yeah.
Like putting distance, and then you actually pick stuff that you need and that you actually like, rather than just stuff that's on sale.
Yeah, so I'll usually put a whole heap of things into my cart and then I'll close my laptop, leave it for a day, and more often than not I actually forget about it because I don't need it, because I know that I don't need it. I was only in that kind of mindset of, oh yeah, like I'd love to do online shopping today.
Yeah.
And then the next day I'm kind of like, I'd kind of rather have that $100, $200 sitting in my bank account rather than giving it to someone else.
Yeah, it's like you either figure out you don't want it or you just like get less. So it's good, yeah. So I guess my first saving tip, trick is to go prepaid on your smartphone or your just cell phone that you use. So for the longest time I was paying, you know, the monthly plan for 24 or 36 months.
Yeah, same.
But I think it's like the biggest rip-off you could possibly like pay. Yeah. Because like nowadays you can get phone plans for as low as like $15 with a couple of gig. I'm currently paying $24 a month. And I think it's like 20 gigabytes, unlimited calls, international calls. Yeah. And I just keep my existing phone. And like phones are so good now, you don't have to replace them every 1 or 2 years. Yeah. Like they're just like a good laptop. You can get 5-6 years out of them. And like the differences between say the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 11 is like not much.
It's only really the camera quality, and if you don't really care about like that kind of stuff, then you might as well just keep the phone. Like I've had my phone for like 3 years, maybe 4 years now, and I don't really care to upgrade it because it still works.
Yeah, exactly. And like if you do that over a lifetime, like you could save thousands of dollars. And like the phone companies are really smart. Like they do subtle design changes. Yeah. So if you get the iPhone 11, you're like, oh, that's the iPhone 11. So it's like a status symbol almost now, rather than like new features. Yeah. But yeah, definitely go prepaid. Highly recommend it. I'm using Vaya at the moment. They're really good. I was previously using LD, which uses the Telstra network. They're really cheap as well. But there's heaps of good providers out there that can save you heaps of money.
Now, the next tip that I have is to buy secondhand. Now, for the longest time, I'm not a princess, but I would say that I thought that there was a massive stigma against buying things secondhand or buying things from the op shop. Like I always just thought that it was dirty and that they would smell, and like why would you want to buy secondhand when you could just buy new? I think since maybe meeting you, my mindset around buying secondhand has changed dramatically. Like pretty much every single thing that you will see in our house, apart from the TV,
Yeah.
Apart from the TV,
yeah,
everything is secondhand. So our fridge, our couch, our TV unit, like almost every single thing that we, like the chair that's behind the camera is secondhand.
This camera is secondhand.
Yeah, like the thing that we're filming on is secondhand.
My phone's secondhand.
Yeah, your laptop is secondhand.
My laptop's secondhand.
Like, you just don't need to be spending money on items. Like, you don't need to be spending lots and lots of money on items that you can get secondhand that function normally. Because there are some people out there that do want that newest fridge. They do want the newest couch. They want the best of everything. So then they're willing to then sell their items secondhand, and you can pick it up for like so much cheaper.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time there's nothing wrong with the things that are being sold. Like, Facebook Marketplace is probably the best.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so good. And apart from like an op shop.
Yeah.
So if you are after things that are secondhand, I highly, highly recommend Facebook Marketplace. There is absolutely nothing wrong with buying things secondhand. Again, you're getting almost the same item that you would in a store, but you're paying hundreds of dollars less.
Yeah, definitely. And like I've always like shopped at op shops, so it just comes natural to me. But I feel like for you, it was something you had to
learn.
Learn. And like, I'm pretty shameless. Like, I'll pick something up from the curb. Like curbside sale, like I don't care.
Yeah, like I think, my mindset definitely has changed in the last like 2 years.
Yeah, but like you said, I think Facebook Marketplace is really good because there's a lot more accountability.
Yes.
Because with Gumtree, it's just some anonymous profile. But with Facebook, you can see like, who they are. So I feel like there's a lot more trust as well.
Yeah.
And I've personally never had a bad experience. Like, I've always got what's described, and you just have to be diligent, just like with anything. But
yeah, exactly right.
You can save a lot of money. So, so my next saving tip is to try Aldi alcohol.
And this is for the people who are over 18.
Over 18.
Just a disclaimer: you have to be over 18 for this tip.
Yeah, true. Like, I don't know, we're in lockdown at the moment in Melbourne, so personally, my alcohol intake has increased a little bit, and it's like one of my biggest expenses.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty bad, but I don't really spend much money at the moment. It's either like food, alcohol, or takeaway.
Yeah.
But yeah, alcohol definitely does take up a lot of the budget, especially if you're just buying the odd bottle there or like a 6-pack. But Aldi wine's like okay. It's not the best, but if you're just having
value.
It's good value. If you're just having like a midday glass of wine, like you could get a decent bottle of wine for like $7, sometimes $10, $13.
Yeah.
6-pack for like $8, $9. And they taste almost identical to Corona's, Heineken, or whatever the equivalent is. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really good tip, because I think that for like an everyday bottle of wine, you don't want to be continuously spending $20 or $30. Like, that's such a waste of money. And you can get really good Aldi wine. Like the Pinot Noir from Aldi is $12.99, and that tastes pretty good. Like, it's not amazing, but it's really good for an everyday wine.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It tastes like maybe like a $20, $25 bottle of wine. Yeah. And maybe just Aldi in general. Like, we shop there quite a lot. And it's been pretty good, so yeah.
So the next thing that I wanted to talk about was a budget. So if you are wanting to really refine your finances and know where you're spending your money, because I know that before I used to budget, I would get to, like a week into my pay and I'd be like, where's all my money gone? Like, I know I had some, and now my bank account's almost at zero.
Yeah. So
I think creating a budget, making it realistic, and assigning a certain amount of money to particular things that are essential to your life. So if you have a mortgage or rent, putting money towards bills, food. I know that spending money on food is really quite high for a lot of people, because they'll just go out and I'll just buy a pie, and I'll just get a custard tart, or I'll just go and get like a takeaway coffee. But those little purchases really do add up. So I think that creating a budget where you're assigning a certain amount of funds, and that's all that you're allowed to spend within those categories, I think it really not restricts you, but it gives you accountability of what you're allowed to spend your money on. And it also helps you to track where you're spending money. So I think what a really good idea is, if you print out, or if you go through your last 2 months of your bank statements and highlighting is so fun. You're gonna get a highlighter. Highlight what you've been spending your money on, and you'll probably be really shocked on how much money you're spending on non-essential items, especially if you like to shop, or if you are really into your food and buying takeaway foods. I think that you'll be really, really shocked. So make a budget, but also make it realistic. So if you do really love your food, give yourself money to spend on food.
Yeah.
Don't really restrict yourself because it's just not going to work and you're going to end up blowing your money anyway.
Yeah, 100%. No, that's a great tip. And you've actually got like a budget planner that you've created?
I do have a budget planner. So again, if you are following me on my social media, I do post about my budget planner that I just created as well. And I think that it's really helped me.
Yeah, it's really helpful actually. Yeah.
It's really helped me understand where my money's going because like I said, I'd get to the end of my pay and I would have nothing left.
Yeah.
And I don't even go out.
Yeah. And I used it a couple of weeks ago and I was like, holy crap, like that's where my money's going.
Yeah.
Because I'm quite frugal, but I've never really like tracked my expenses.
Yeah, you're not a tracker, but I really need it because I need that idea of where my money is going and what I'm allowed to spend my money on.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so my next saving tip is to kind of contact or call your providers when it's about to renew, whether that's for insurance, gas, electricity, whatever it may be. A lot of the time, you know, when you're with a service, you just pay it whenever you get the bill. But a lot of the time I actually compare my service with a different service. And if I can find a cheaper rate, a lot of the time you can just call them up. It takes 5 minutes and you just tell them that you found a cheaper deal somewhere else. So to keep you as a customer, a lot of the time they'll just be like, oh, we can match that price. And I found that's like a really quick way to save like a couple of $100s. I did that for my car insurance last year. And they just saved me like $150 just from like a 5-minute call. So
I think car insurance is probably like the biggest.
Yeah.
Like that's where you can really save your money if you shop around. Like you really do need to shop.
Yeah.
You really need to shop around for that kind of stuff because rather than I know my sister, she will just pay the car insurance. Whereas like if she was to then go on Google and search, you know, between Amy, Budget, UE, GIO, like can really compare all those different companies because they want you as a customer.
Yeah.
So if you can go to them and say, oh, well, I was quoted this, can you match it?
Yeah.
Most of the time they'll say yes.
Yeah. And if you're with someone for like 5 years, you just keep paying the bill. You don't really think about it. But if you kind of look around, it is annoying to switch providers. But by doing this method, you're staying with the same provider, but you're getting a cheaper rate. So it's just a lot easier that way, I found.
But the next thing that I wanted to talk about was actually talking about your saving goals and how you want to save money and how you're saving money, or just talking about it in general is so powerful that a lot of people think that money is taboo and that you really shouldn't talk about it, that it's not an appropriate conversation to have. I completely disagree.
I disagree as well. Like, I think it's such an important conversation because at the end of the day, like we're all working for money. So it's like, what's the end goal or like what's it all for? So I think
and I think that if you do talk about like your money goals or your saving goals, it keeps you accountable. So I know that with like you are really good at saving money and I'm still learning.
You're still really good though.
I am really good, but I'm still very much a beginner and I'm very much learning about money. But what I've found is really powerful is actually talking to you about, you know, my money goals, what I want to save, how much I want to save. And especially if I come up with a figure saying, oh, I really want to save $400 a fortnight. If I talk to you about it, I'm more likely to do it. Because then that conversation, it doesn't even need to be with a partner. It can be with a friend. It can be with like mum, dad, sister, whoever. I think that having those money conversations is really important and it really keeps you accountable and keeps you motivated too, because those people will want to be on your side. Like you'll talk to people who are motivating and who want you to do well. So I think that that's something that's really important. And
it's like a psychological thing. I forgot what it was, but it's like if you tell someone your goals, you're like 70% more likely to do it or something. So it's like a little mind hack almost.
And I think that really shows from when I paid off my credit card. So I had a credit card balance of around $5,500 because we spoke so much about like getting rid of the credit card and how it's such bad debt and like I could have all this money if I didn't have this credit card. I actually managed to pay it off within 5 months.
You smashed through it.
And that was a massive achievement for me, but because we kept talking about it, and it wasn't like all the time, it was, you know, like what I could do with that extra money. And what I could do with that money, that really motivated me, and having those conversations I think really helped too.
And it's like the encouragement.
The motivation. Because they want you to do well. They want you to have the money.
Exactly. So my next saving tip is kind of a follow-on from my previous tip, and that's just to compare providers. So that can literally be for anything, electricity, gas, internet providers. I think I was paying like $90 a month with Telstra.
Yeah.
And then you got us onto TPG.
And get onto TPG, it's so much better.
And they're $60 a month.
And their customer service is really good.
Yeah. So it's just like a minor change. But if you spread that out over years and years, it's like a pretty big difference. So I like to tackle the biggest ones first. So it's like insurance, mortgage, rent, and food.
Yeah.
So for our mortgage, we actually refinanced it.
Yeah.
So we were paying around $2,400 a month, and now we've got that down to $2,000 just by a quick email to our mortgage broker. So we've saved ourselves $200 each per month just from a couple of emails. And you can do the same for gas, electricity, because at the end of the day, like, it doesn't really provide much. I mean, it is valuable, but it's not something you necessarily care about.
Yeah.
So you may as well just get like the best price for that service.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
So Instagram. This is the next thing that I wanted to talk about, which I know that a lot of females and males get stuck into this kind of trap. So my next thing is to stop following Instagram influencers that encourage you to purchase items that you do not need.
Yeah.
Instagram influencers, they're their own business.
Yeah.
Who they are is their business. And so a lot of the time they get paid to promote items that they themselves most likely don't use. And most of the time they're trying to sell you something. So they're trying to sell you like a protein shake or a clothing item or like a clothing boutique.
Yeah.
So my suggestion is to really stop following those influencers that constantly do paid promotion and that try and entice you to buying a product, because most of the time you don't need it. And a lot of the time they themselves are getting paid quite a lot to promote that particular item, even if they don't really need it or even if they don't use it.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like, I don't necessarily have anything against influencers.
No, neither.
But I feel like it can be detrimental if you're following, 30 or 50 influencers and you're getting like bombarded with all these products at once.
Yeah.
Then it's like very overwhelming.
Yeah.
And, the just influencers in general, you do have that almost personal connection.
Yes.
So you are more influenced to buy things that you might necessarily not want.
Yeah, there's that kind of trust there.
Yeah, so I think, it's kind of like a balancing act. Like, you don't want them to take advantage of you, but at the same time, you maybe enjoy following them. So it's like a bit tricky, kind of. But,
I think that's where you really have to get your money goals into perspective and really understand what you want to achieve with your money. Because if you know that, okay, well, I want to, I'm saving for a house deposit and I want to do this and I want to do that.
Yeah.
You're less likely to be persuaded into buying those items because you have something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Whereas if you don't have any goals in particular, you're just saving just to save, you're more likely to pull that money out of your bank account and spend it on stuff that you don't have, because it's an advertisement.
Yeah.
Instagram is essentially an advertisement service, and it's fantastic. Like, I don't have anything like I have nothing against it. I think that it's actually a really ingenious idea.
Yeah.
I think that it can be really detrimental to those people that maybe don't have a clear understanding of what they want to achieve with their money or what their money is working towards.
Yeah. Yeah, and like for myself personally, I actually deleted Facebook and Instagram off my phone just because I was spending so much time on it. And I was getting bombarded with ads and influencers. Yeah. So you're just like, it is very like overwhelming.
Yeah. It's very saturated now too.
Yeah. And I think a really good documentary to watch is the one called The Social Dilemma, which we watched recently.
Yes.
It's not so much about influencers, but just social media in general and how it kind of like triggers you to act a certain way and stuff. So I think that was pretty revealing.
Yeah, I think that documentary is really insightful because they do touch on a little bit on how they're looking like on your next moves, and if you're really into following those influencers that are
about a certain topic,
or like if they're really into their clothes and they model all clothes from like White Fox Boutique or Princess Polly, then Instagram
they notice that and they like serve you up ads for that. Yeah, so.
Even in the stories, like you'll notice that I think it's every third story that you see is an advertisement.
Yeah, I mean, it's so smart. Like, you can't... Like, I've fallen for it so many times. Like, it's just... Yeah, it's hard.
I think maybe restricting a certain time period that you're on Instagram or the people that you actually follow. And this is no hate towards Instagram. I mean, I'm on Instagram. I just think that you just need to be careful and a bit more clear on what you want to achieve.
Yeah, definitely. So, my next saving tip is to utilize Google Flights. So, this is a Google service where you just type in your destination and it gives you the cheapest prices for pretty much the year in advance. So this pretty much like changed the game for me traveling when I found this service, because it kind of changes your mindset on looking at the best times to fly rather than just having a set date and then just paying whatever the fee is for those flights. And then you can also look at a global map and see where flights are all around the world. So you can actually find some really awesome deals, and it like compares all of the providers in one place. Kind of like Kayak, or I forgot what the other one's called, but it's really good for finding cheap flights.
I think that, yeah, like if you, let's say that you want to go to, say, Thailand, and then you go on that map and you see that there are really cheap flights going to Vietnam, and the flights to Thailand are more expensive, you might actually end up changing your mind and going to Vietnam because the flights are cheaper.
Yeah.
I think that that's really cool too.
Yeah, and I think for a trip we had, we were like, oh, let's just go on May. Like, we decided May. But then when we looked at flights, like if we travelled at the end of April or whatever it was, they were like half the price. Yeah. Just looking at the dates. Yeah. So, it's a really good tool for doing that.
So everyone loves a coupon or a discount code, right?
Yeah, I do.
I love getting money off items wherever I can. So my next tip and trick is actually to use the companies that give you coupons, discounts, percentage back, or even cash back.
Yeah.
So we're talking about companies like Groupon, Shopback, Honey. Those three are probably the best and the ones that I've used the most to get either discounts or money back. So the other day I used Shopback when I purchased some activewear because I actually needed it. And I was able to get a discount off. I think it was 10% discount off my entire order. Plus then I got 8% back, which came back to $12.38.
Yeah, it's so good.
So Groupon is a really fantastic service because they offer you discounts on like massage parlors, holidays. You can find some really awesome packages on Groupon. I think my sister and my mum, I think, went to Vietnam either on Groupon or they went on some sort of coupon holiday and they had the best time. You can get like dinners, nails if you like to get your nails done. Like you really need to to shop around and use those kind of services because they're there to be used. Like 100%. I don't see the shame in using a coupon. No. Like we love a good coupon.
I love a good coupon.
There's a book in Melbourne and I think it's all across Australia as well. It's called The Entertainment Book.
Oh yeah.
And in 2020 you obviously can't use it because we cannot go anywhere.
Yeah.
But it's a really fantastic book because it gives you like a complimentary main dinner, or you might get 25% off your entire bill, which can like save you $10-20. And like why not use it? They're there to be used. There's no, I think I used to think that there was a shame using it, but now like I don't care. Like I want that money in my account.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
With them.
Yeah, exactly. And like signing up for like a newsletter that gives you like a $30 discount or something. Yeah. Like may as well.
You might, and then just unsubscribe.
Yeah, and exactly. Make sure to unsubscribe, otherwise they'll keep marketing you.
Yeah, but I think take advantage of it because they're there to be used and utilized.
Yeah, and the way I think of it is like, if there's a coupon available and you spend 5 minutes searching for one, you could potentially save, $20, $30, $100. So you're essentially exchanging 5 minutes of time for say $50. Yeah. So it's a really good conversion. Yeah. Yeah. But I find if you're looking for that one coupon and you're spending hours doing it, then it becomes not worth it. But if there's one out there and you find it quickly, then like why not? Yeah.
Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. We really hope that you did enjoy this video. Those are just some tips and tricks that Lewis and I use to save some money and put it into our account and not give it to other people.
Yeah. 100%.
So please make sure that you do give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and don't forget to press that subscribe button down below. We are doing a house tour today as well and sharing some tips and tricks on how we saved money.
Doing the renovation?
Yeah, renovating our house.
Yeah.
So that will be linked down below. So please make sure that you go and watch that, and we will see you in the next video, which will be sometime in the very near future.
See you later.
Bye guys.
Bye. It's recording.
What?
Yeah.
We haven't got a game. So are you going to do one, then I'm going to do one?
Yeah, like you, me.
Okay, should we do some thumbnails first?
Okay.
Or should we do that at the end?
We might as well do it now.